Hello and welcome to Fashion Report Friday, the weekly video series trying to get you the most MGP humanly possible each week on a Friday when judging begins in the Mandeville Gold Saucer for the Fashion Report minigame. This is week 246, and if we talk to the Masked Rose here, you'll find out that today's challenge, and this week's challenge I should say, is Genteel Physician. The individual clues for each slot include silken things for our helm, motley crew for our hands, roused trousers for our legs, and on ceremony for our feet. In this video we have a 100 score, the easiest 80, and also the 80 with dies. So without further ado, let's hop straight onto that 100 score. Alrighty, for a 100 score today then, obviously the helm is the first item, and I went for the chimerical felt hat of casting, which you can actually get here. To get a chimerical felt hat of casting, then simply teleport over to Azazlar, which is obviously the last zone in Heavensward. Come over to the main section near the Helix teleport and talk to the repository node. On the repository node, if we click on Disciple of Magic, you'll see on this list the actual hat we're after, which is a chimerical felt hat of casting for 14,968 gil. Alternatives to the chimerical felt hat of casting include the songbird hat, which is an untethered item, so you can equip that on any class or role level 1 and above, but that was from a Little Ladies Day 2017 event, or obviously the songbird attire on the Mog Station cash shop. We also have the Royal Seneschal's chapeau, which is another part of that, and then we have stuff like the Shire Philosopher's hat, which is locked behind 245 Allegan Poetics, things like that. There are some good alternatives in the Plague Bringers and Plague Doctors hats as well, which are both from St. Mosian's Arboretum or Farah Sirius hard mode dungeons. But overall, I decided to go for a vendor purchased item because I thought that was the most accessible for people, even though it is locked to level 60 caster. For the hands then, I went for the Dragon Skin Gloves of Casting. I decided to go a casting route this week for the 100. These are a level 56 pair of gloves, locked to casters. Specifically, you can get these here. To get the gloves then, simply come over to the Foundation of Ishgard, and then I need you to teleport over to the pillars, and in specific, the Jeweled Grosier. Once we're at the pillars section at the Jeweled Grosier, simply go from the mini aetherite down the ramp until you find the NPC on your right called Norlaze. Norlaze is a frequent on these videos, and she's no different today. So basically what we need is a Disciple of Magic tab for the the thing we're going for, and we're going to be looking at level 56 tab, and on here you will find the Dragon Skin Gloves of Casting for 15,411 gil. Alternatives to the Dragon Skin Gloves of Casting include the Dragon Skin Gloves of Aiming and Healing as well. Those will both work for gold, and I believe the Shiraki's Gloves will also work, which are from Halatali Hard or the Lost City of Amdapor as a drop. For the legs then, I went for the Gambler's Trousers. So the item I went for is actually from a prize claim 2 vendor in the Gold Saucer itself, and I went for the Gambler's Trousers. The main reason I decided to spend MGP is ultimately the Gambler's Trousers do crop up quite a lot on Fashion Report, so it's actually a really good item to have if you want to make some future MGP, and sometimes you have to spend credits to get credits, right? So I definitely picked those up. There are some good alternatives though. If, however, you would like an easier option and you want to go to Disciple of War route, the Hempen Trousers is actually one of the best items this week, equipable by any level 10 Disciple of War job. But of course, that would require us to sort out the rest of our gear, so I went for something that was equipable by everyone. And finally, we have the feet. To go with the casting theme, I went for the True Griffin Sandals of Casting. This is a fairly simple craft. It is a level 70 craft, 2-star difficulty. A lot of people are crafting this today and trying to make some money. As a result, the market has crashed a little bit on it, but there's quite a lot on my server. It's not too difficult to craft. And yeah, it's a good option, especially if you're going down the same route as I am. Alternatives to this do include the True Griffin Sandals of Healing as well. Those will work. And the World of Darkness related boots as well. The Demon Sandals of Healing and Demon Sandals of Casting will work as well for this slot. And that's pretty much the 100 score. So not too bad, but we can do a lot better. And the reason that it's a bit of a hodgepodge is because the die options are so good this week. So let's go and have a look at those. Okay, for the die options, as you can see, very easy dies this week. You only need 2 types of die, and both of them are vendor purchased. The first of which is Blood Red die, which you can get from any city-state NPC that sells dies, such as Nana Bay in the Sapphire Avenue exchange of the Steps of Thal in Uldar. You take the teleport and go right. That NPC sells Blood Red die for 40 gil a pot, which is pretty good. And obviously we've got Soot Black die on our helm, our legs, and our feet, which is from an Ixali vendor, which costs you 216 gil a pot, or alternatively you can get all this stuff on the market board. I'm sure there's plenty of people that are going to be selling dies, as they usually do. And that's pretty much it. As you can see, Blood Red die on our weapon, chest, hands, then we have Soot Black on our helm, legs, and feet. It is one of the easiest things. Obviously, we could have expected from the dies. I would highly recommend this more than any other setup because it's 9 times out of 10 possible for you on your ults, for example, to get these dies affordably. It's a really, really good die option this week, and I'm very happy for its existence. So it's very hard for me to recommend an easy 80, but we're going to do it anyway. So yeah, when it comes to making an easy 80, I mean, there's only really a couple of things we could do, as I mentioned earlier. You want to get yourself 2 of the pots of Blood Red die, put those on any chest piece in the game and any gloves in the game. Make sure you have something equipped in every slot, and then go over to any low-level city-state armor vendor and pick up the level 10 and above locked behind Disciple of War hempen trousers. As you can see from Gwalter, Steps of Thal, Disciple of War tab, level 10 to 19 tab for 270 gil. So equip those on a level 10 or above Disciple of War, and you've probably got the easiest option you can go for, a pair of legs and 2 vendor purchase dies. Make sure again, like, you have something equipped in every slot, and you'll get an 80 guaranteed. Very simple. I would say though, the die options are easier because they don't have any restrictions on them at all. So of course there are many other ways you can get 80. You can mix and match any of the items, any 2 of the items, let's say from the 100 score, or 1 of the items and 2 dies like I've done, and you'll get an 80 guaranteed as well. It's very, very easy this week. You'd be a fool not to make the most out of that MGP, especially as we might be coming closer to like future MGP rewards in other patches. Anyway, let me know if this was helpful. A link in the description will take you to the Reddit thread where this was, helpful to me each and every week, where people theorize this content. Big props to them. Go give them some thumbs up or whatever you do. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.